All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Drafting a Case Study. I have another fashion designer who is in a different spot than the previous client, but she's in the developing phase. And we're going to get into it because I know there's a lot of people who have been asking me how do I go about my business coaching, especially since consumer research is such a small sector and it's not very glamorized. But because this designer is in the developing phase, I think this is going to be a very, very great aspect. But she does have a foot in the fashion industry since she has another business that is business that's catered to business, but I want to focus more on business to customer. So on this episode we have Jasmina. Say hello,
Hello.
Jasmina. Yes.
Hello.
So she is starting her company, and what is the name of your company?
Name of the company is VM3D. We are working with 3D softwares, and 6 months ago we have started of developing our collection. The topic of the collection is circular for zero because we
Mhm.
are facing with the problems with the textile pollution and so on. So we have decided to develop collection, which will be casual collection. That means the apparel that we are producing and we are selling is our everyday clothes,
Mhm.
and we are producing this without waste. We are trying to share the story that the production and the fashion can be useful as well, not just like a biggest polluter and fast fashion and so on.
Okay. Where are you based out of? Like what?
Uh, I'm based in Macedonia. Macedonia is a country
Macedonia.
in
Okay. In
Southeast
Europe.
Europe. In
Okay.
Southeast Europe, yes.
Okay. This is going to be a nice, well-rounded cast. Okay, so so you haven't been in business with Circular of Zero. You don't have any customers, correct?
We are in a process of developing. That means that we have developed our concept. The concept name is Circular for Zero. We are
Hmm.
producing casual blouses, ladies blouses as the main product, but as well we are producing byproducts. Byproducts are hair accessories, for example,
Hmm.
sleeping mask, dog's outfit, or filling for dog's pet as well. And we have very small scope of customers. This is all local customers
Okay.
because we are trying to find a real connection
Hmm.
between our product and between us, our collection, and our customers. Because our customers are ladies between 20 and 40, 45 years old.
Hmm.
uh, Usually they are pet lovers because when we are selling our product, we are clearly declarate that it's a zero waste product, it's circular product, and it's a product where you can find something for you, but for your pet as well.
Okay, so it's like I don't want to say like mommy and daughter, but like pet owner and pet type of match. Okay. All right, so I'm asking these specific questions because I need because you know your business like inside and out. So I'm on the outside just trying to pick your brain to get to know your brand, your business, and so we can resolve the issue and make sure that your business can grow and it can connect to your customer. So how many customers would you say you have or potential customers do you think you have right now?
At this moment, we are selling between 50 and 100 products per month.
No, how many customers? Like how many people?
Uh, uh, I don't know. I cannot say because we are not collecting information from the customers.
Okay.
They
It's
are different
okay.
customers, but I can calculate how much products we are selling. We have, for example, one group of
Hmm.
30 people, which are like our very first feedback, from which we are receiving very first feedback about our product, but they are not just a customers, they are our feedback group. I don't know
The
how to say.
research, the focus group.
Yes, the focus group
Okay.
for go to market. And
Yes.
it's
I'm
something.
glad you're doing that. You hear that, designers? A lot of designers just think like because of Instagram or social media that they just, I'm gonna start a brand, but it's interesting that you stated that you have a focus group. How long have you had a focus group?
We have focus group for 2 months.
Okay. And how has that process been like getting the answers that you want?
With Google Forms, actually, the products that we are producing, because we are 3D designers as well, we
Mm-hmm.
are producing products digitally as well before real production. And when
Mm-hmm.
we get the digital form of the product, then we are sharing with our focus group and they give us feedback.
Okay. Feedback, the data. Okay. So I want to go back to the details that you provided for your customers, which I thought was very interesting. They're between the age of 20 to 45 years old. They're women, no
Yeah,
men, correct?
no man.
Okay, and they are pet lovers. Pet lovers as in cats, dogs.
Yes,
Okay.
but mainly dogs because the we because the dogs are pet lovers used to buy clothes for their dogs as well. Pets
Okay.
are not animals which love to have to be dressed up. I don't know how to say.
Okay. All right. So they definitely take well care of their pet. Okay. 20, are they married or are they single? Do you know that information?
No, I don't have this information. They are different. They vary.
Very okay. Do you know if like they own a home? Like, do you dig into questions like their lifestyle?
Usually because they are from Macedonia, and in
Hmm.
Macedonia, in our living, I don't know, living attitude is not to rent a home, to live in our own home. And usually they have own homes and they live
Okay.
with their cats.
Okay. I'm writing stuff down if you see me looking down.
Okay, great.
All right. All right. So would you say like do you know who your competitors are?
Oh, our competitors actually are the companies which are producing casual wear and selling that to the market, and as well the companies that produce dogs wear as well on the market.
You don't have like a Pacific three, like a local or a high end one?
No, I don't have some specific. I cannot share because we, as a company, as a brand, we are not focus on that because we are focused more on a story that we are telling with our product. And
Mm-hmm.
in our situation, in our country, we don't have this kind of competition. The company, the brand which produce apparel and with main product and byproduct, and sharing the story about circularity and circular for zero. Maybe okay, there is one. I can now remember there is one group of women, for example, that produce pillows and they
Mm-hmm.
are circular for zero. They produce pillows and the filling is from the waste from the production and something like that. But that's not apparel industry. That's just home decoration industry. How
Home
to put it?
decor. Okay.
Yeah.
So since you said that you don't check for competitors in your country, do you feel like you are the go-to person for fashion when it comes to individuals and pets owners? I mean, pet owners and pets?
I don't understand you about
Sure.
question.
So are you the number one go-to, would you be the number one go-to brand business that sells clothes for people and their matching pet?
Yes, in our country we are, but our goal, because Macedonia is one very small country, and
Mhm.
that what we are doing, it's actually too much work for
Mhm.
so small market like Macedonian market.
Yeah, I'm
And
only asking that. Okay, go
our
ahead.
goal is to expand. Actually, in moment we are developing the brand and accommodated to Macedonian market. So we are in a phase of learning at
Hmm.
our market. But our long-term goal is to expand and to sell our product at the foreign market as well, to sell the product as a product or to sell the concept as a design.
Okay. Okay. I'm only asking that only because, other countries, especially United States, there are so many brands. Someone can open up something today, tomorrow, and it could be very similar. So we kind of need to see what is on the market so that we don't duplicate or we can stand out. But since your market is so small, I'm not there to witness it. So I'm just painting a picture for others to see and for me to also just understand the bigger scope of your business instead of just face value.
Yes.
Okay. So within your brand, what would you say like your core values are for Circular of Zero?
So we are trying our core value is that with our product we are sharing a message, not
Okay.
only message for circularity.
Mhm.
For example, message about woman equality, for example,
Mhm.
because all our products are printed. They are a combination of design as apparel. We produce and sell actually white cotton blouses, which has different kind of sleeves, or they have some interest design details,
Mhm.
but they are as well printed, and they have prints with which prints we are trying to share a message as well to a market.
Okay. And what kind of message did you want to share with that white cotton blouse?
It's different kind of topics, and we are
Okay.
changing the topics. It
Oh,
depends
okay.
on the moment. Yes, it's not only one topic, because we feel that the white blouse is uh, like open space where
Mhm.
we can, with art, with graphic design as well, printed graphic designs, share messages. And we are focused on the actual that what is in the moment
Mhm.
topic of discussion, for example in the social networks or something like that.
Okay, this sounds really neat. So, what inspired you to have a message for each individual shirt, or change it as all to make it relevant?
What inspired us the actual situation. For example, at this moment we are working and we are researching only Macedonian, and the actual situation in Macedonia. For example, maybe it could be spring, it could
Mhm.
be equal rights for every child, or could be equal rights for every woman, or perspective for youth, or something like that. Different
Okay.
kind of messages.
Okay. Do you grab these messages from like real life people's stories? Do you go on social media?
No, no, no. We are all these messages. We are trying to combine them with some short poems, and as well with graphic design. For example, some flowers, some child, or something what will be
Mhm.
discrete printed at the product.
Okay. All right. So, what challenges are you currently having at this developing phase for Circular of Zero?
Our biggest challenge in this moment
Mhm.
is to find the right way, the right channel to connect and to communicate with our customer. Not just to share a message to a customer, but as well to receive feedback. Our biggest challenge in this moment is to find a way how in continuity to communicate with our customers and to build a group of the customers which
Mhm.
will be our loyal customers as well, not just the customers that will be fascinated for that what we are showing or doing in one single moment, but
Mhm.
as well to understand the story that we would like to share.
Okay, so you want to build like a community
Yes.
that shares the same, attributes, the same, relative story that you're sharing each time you want to share. You want feedback. You want an engaging community that has
Yeah.
similar attribute, like a family. Like, okay, what channels are you currently using at the moment, or are you potentially thinking about using?
We are using social channels, social media channels, only social media, and with online stores or something like that. We have our own production,
Hmm.
but we don't have our own store, our physical store where they can came and buy the product because the products are in the process of development and first testing of the market.
Okay. Are you aware of which social media is popular within your community for you to use and help you grow?
At this moment, we are doing this on Instagram and Facebook as a social media channel.
Okay. With the people who you have been interviewing, have you considered asking them which social media apps do they use the most? The ones that are potentially that fits the mold of the community that you want to build?
No, I haven't.
I think, okay, so may I suggest this? Because I don't want to
Yes.
force you. So I would structure a question asking, what are the top three social medias you use every day, daily? And when you collect that question, then you kind of see what is the reoccurring social media. So then you can move yourself. Well, I'm not going to say move yourself, but put yourself in that equation so that you can start building your momentum and see if you find more people of this community that you want to create. Because you want to go where your community is, where your core is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Let me get some water. I feel like I'm about to cough. Okay. So you do not have a store yet, which is fine. Um, I think possibly you have a production, but you don't want customers in there because we don't know what they're going to wander into. But have you ever suggested like a pop-up shop? Is that popular in where you
No,
are?
it's not. No, no, it's not.
Yeah, pop-up shops are like very great. And you can also just partner with another designer, like a shoe designer. It doesn't have to be someone that's in the same area of fashion with you, but
Mm-hmm.
doing a pop-up shop will also be great, allowing the customer to try on the garments. Maybe you can make like a certain amount of garments for them to get the experience of your clothing, get the touch and the feel. They can pick your brain on how it is, how to wash it, whatever questions the customer wants to ask. They'll get another experience of you instead of just an online experience. They'll also just get your experience in person.
Yes.
So that can also just be an idea and also just help you build momentum since you're still in the phase of developing your brand for business to customer.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And also you have a pet sector, which is like very new to me. So the pet can also just, experience the garment and if the owner sees that the pet really likes the garment, that's like a win-win for you.
Yeah.
That's a sale. You can say, this is launching out or this can be pre-sale and we can prepare your order. This can also that can funnel into a sale for you.
Okay. Great.
All right. So you talked about that you wanted to grow beyond where you are? Where would you like to reach? Where would you like your new business to kind of just branch out to?
So as 3D designers, we are serving at this moment a lot of German brands
Mhm,
and brands actually from the Europe, but the main are the German brands, and we are something like close to the German culture.
mhm,
At this moment, we haven't to think about selling the product as a product, but that we what we are developing as a concept circular for zero, we would like to sell the products to a brand to sell as a collection. For
okay.
example, we are developing one collection of 5 products on
Mhm,
some theme, some topic, with some subject, with some prints, and so on, and to offer them as a collection to foreign brands to sell them in their stores or in their collection, to sell them as a design, not as a product to a final customer, because for us it will be very expensive and very unpredictable
yeah.
to approach to a new foreign market as a single producer of a collection and to have direct collaboration with a final customers. I think this maybe we could do with online sale, but in general, with physical shops, it will be very difficult for us as a company, as a brand.
Yeah, you're definitely right because you're even though you're starting a new brand, but you're very like savvy and know what's going on within your market. So you pretty much want like a partnership, or you want the word is leaving my mind, but you would just provide your collection to like a boutique or a store so it can
Yeah.
be sold to a consumer. It's leaving my mind, but I know what you're referring to. And you want to sell your conceptual collection to these individual stores or boutiques.
Yes,
And
it's
then
like
you
that.
would
We can.
deal and then you would deal with the online orders because you have a in-house production team. Is that correct?
Yes, it's like that.
So yeah, it would be really, really great if you kind of just honed in and find out where your ideal customers are on the app so you can start building your building your community and build yeah and just inform them of what behind the scenes, like how are you coming up with the concept. I think your concept is like really interesting. Like I'm really like intrigued. I kind of would want to know more. It would kind of just draw me in to know more about this brand and can't wait to see how you make it, or when is it coming out, or how is the process of this product. That's those are like cool ways of building your business on social media. And also it just kind of just builds the anticipation of I'm going to buy this product now. I feel like I'm a part of this. I want to buy it now. And also
Thank
it's
you.
also feedback. You mentioned that you wanted feedback. That's also feedback. If you kind of just throw in the mock up, the vector of a digital inspiration, maybe you saw a message or affirmation and you say, hey, I've read this affirmation. I got very inspired from it. This is the product that I got from it. And put the vector image up and see what the feedback would be like and see what they would say.
Yes, it is like that, but no matter that for the foreign market that we cannot deal directly with the customers,
Okay.
that what we must do as well is the research related to a end customer. We will not gonna deal with them with selling and buying to a direct customer, but we must deal with research of the final customers because with the goal to develop the right product and to this right small collection of, for example, 5 or 10 products, and to
Mhm.
offer to some boutique or another business to sell them, we must get information from the customers. not just information from the boutiques or another businesses that will make a sell for us. This is one of the most challenging as well for us moments to
Hmm.
build a relationship with the foreign customers at the foreign market.
Yeah, because you're not really seeing them in person, and then you're not getting the information firsthand. You're kind of just getting it through secondhand, which is through the middleman,
Yes, through
in
the
other
building.
words. Okay. So would you be able to, I'm trying to think. So would you be able to have them ask them complete like a form, like a little post-it card, whenever they purchase something with your name, you can provide that collateral and possibly that
Maybe
can
yes. Now I get in this right, that's the right moment. I get one idea. Maybe at our label, our paper label, we can put some QR codes with QR codes, which the customer will open the Google form and give us some short feedback about the
correct.
product. Maybe this is one of the solution.
Correct. So yeah, you always want to collect some type of data even when you have like a middleman. So yeah, possibly just creating like a QR code. We want to hear your feedback, however you want to structure it, and just kind of get more intake for that customer when you have an middleman for your collection.
Yeah.
Ooh, excuse me. Sorry. Okay. All right. So how is everything sounding right now?
I'm satisfied because I'm inspired actually. How we are talking, I'm inspiring you, you're inspiring me. And I think that this is
Yeah.
one very good collaboration in this talk.
Yeah, so this is like like I said, this is like a sample of like what goes on in a real business coaching. I have to kind of just feel, yeah, we're new with each other and I have to dig. Like I have to keep asking you questions for me to kind of just get these free flowing ideas going because sometimes it's a little tweaking for you for me to provide you with the idea, but you're still taking it in and kind of tweaking it to your need because you are the only one that knows your business inside and out. I don't. I'm the outsider. I'm just here to assist you on the side. I've worked with other brands and had to tweak a lot of things, but in all, yeah, I mean, it just all depends on what goes with your core values, your future, and whatever you got going on within your business model. All right, trying to think what else. So, what other challenges are you having with Circular of Zero?
Hmm. At this moment, our main challenge is to develop the right product and to develop it as feedback on the market. That is something like there are connected challenges. One challenge, first of one is that what I had described about building a relationship with a market, and the second is to develop the right product. We have from the side of co-creation. I think that we are very competitive on the market because with using all resources
Mhm,
from the fabric, we are providing products which has competitive price on the market. One another challenges is to have people which are continuously inspired
repeated. Hmm.
from the everyday situation and from everyday life, because I think maybe when we are inspired from the simplest things in the life, for example, love, sadness, or I don't know what, smile,
Hmm.
maybe then we get the best product. Not to think about deeply about complicated relationship in the society, but
Hmm.
to think about the emotions and the simple things that makes beauty in the life. something like that.
Okay. Taking down your notes. Okay. So your biggest concern, I would say, is connecting, having just a good connection with your customer.
Yes, to get back, to get real feedback, because sometimes the customers, when they are answering the questions and when we get repeated answers, sometimes I think that these answers are not the right answers. Maybe because there are customers who give you answer that you expect to receive as answer, not the real answer. So one another challenges is to make a filter of these answers and find out the one which give the real feedback and the real situation from the another side. This is one another challenge with which we are facing when we receive feedback. For example, with this core focus group of 30 people as
Mhm.
well. Sometimes when we get answer for example, very same answer for two very different products from one
Yeah,
same
that
person.
skews the whole thing.
Yes, and then there is one another mess that happened with these feedbacks to create a filter that will recognize which answer is correct answer and the answer that should be take in account and which are the fake answers as well. They are fake answers too.
Okay. Are you giving these people in the focus group, are you giving them incentives?
What means with incentives?
So some focus groups they'll say, if you're a participant in this focus group, we'll give you a Starbucks gift card. If you
Yes,
participate, you might.
okay. Yes, they are people which are buying at our products with some discounts for
Mhm.
sure. They are related to developing of the brand, and this is what did they get.
Okay. Have you ever tried to conduct your own focus group by posting something on social media and asking your real following if they would like to participate in?
No,
in-
we haven't. This is a focus group that is chosen with a recommendation, not just the
Okay.
people that we are knowing them.
Mhm.
For example, as a team, as a designer team, but as well, first line are the people that we are knowing, and they are with different ages and different living in a different kind of conditions. The second row is the people that are recommended from our first row. The
Right.
third, the people that are recommended from the second row, and so on. So in the end, there are people that we don't know them.
Yeah, because I feel like it's just wasting time and you're not really getting a satisfying answer because you keep saying you want real, authentic answers. Um, so why don't you consider getting your real fans, your real followings to come in and actually try on the stuff to get real answers? I'm not sure where that focus group is finding people or if they're just kind of recruiting people from their pool of people that they already have and they already know like the routine. Like, let me just fill this out so I can get this free stuff because I know how focus groups work. I went to school doing qualitative research. So some agencies have like a pool of people where they are regulars and they just want the free stuff. So they just go in the focus group, fill in whatever answer and go about their day. Um,
What is
so
your recommendation?
I would suggest, because I've done this with a brand and it changed her trajectory. I would suggest that you get people who like your stuff, like your following, people who are really a customer. So You can grab the people from your other business and have them try on your garments and get real answers. I would get people who are your following, who admire your work and your fashion, and have bring them in, and you conduct your own focus group. Just grab how they're doing. Are you a part of that focus group when you're doing the focus group with the agency that you hired?
No.
No? Okay. So yeah, I would grab the people who you've worked with, people who wants to buy your stuff you're following, and grab them and have and conduct your own focus group. And you would need to create a set of 10 objective questions so that you can get the answers that you want. So that's why I asked you, are you a part of that group? So you kind of just grab their questions and ask them to your following within your own focus group. And while you're doing your own focus group, you also need to pay attention to their body language, their expressions, their behavior. Are they checking themselves out in the mirror multiple times? Like you need to pay attention to not only the words, but their actions, because their actions also need to match their words as well. Because you can say one thing, but your face is saying no. Like I can say yes, but my face is saying no. Or some people have like a little gesture where they're like shaking their heads no. You
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you gotta pay attention to little stuff like that. So that's what I'm just saying. Like I've went to school for qualitative research, but I know I'm in the fashion industry and I kind of moved that over. But yeah, you gotta pay attention to like everything. It's great to have like a camera, so the camera can capture everything. Even if you don't have enough people, just have a camera where the camera can see everything in the room. And when you watch the camera back, you could kind of just see everyone's movements and match it with the sheet that they answered.
Okay. Okay, thank you. We
You're
all
welcome.
gonna try to change something.
Yeah, because I hear you. I'm writing my notes and I keep seeing you want real answers. It sounds like it's a lot of time being wasted and you're not really getting what you want because the answers are getting skewed. And if this keeps going, it's going to lead to 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months. And when is the brand going to come out? I know you don't want to rush it, but at the same time, you need to have something. You hired an agency. You hired an agency. They should be very equipped to get you some type of answers or make you feel more secure or confident within connecting with your customer within 2 months.
Okay,
So
thank you.
you are very welcome. All right. What other strategy are you doing to connect with your customer? Like how are you building a relationship with your target customer?
Uh, at this moment, we are not doing too much
Hmm.
we are not pushing too much effort in this phase. We are focused on developing the right product and the right form and the right message and so on. So because we don't have must tell and we don't put much effort in building this relationship,
Hmm.
maybe we are more focused on developing a right product
Okay.
and, by the way, building a strategy for relationship for our customers. We are in a process more in research and development than in selling phase, and because of that, our time is completely another. There is another organization of our working time and working process.
Okay. And when did you want to at least start building your relationship with your customer? Like, do you have like a time frame?
Yes, we have it. Till end of this month, we should try. We should finish our very first group of 20 models, which
Okay.
20 models are developed in this last 3 or 4 months, I can say.
Mhm.
um, intensively, and they are changing the form, changing the topics, and so on and so on, and to go on the mass market and to offer them as well to foreign companies as a collection, because we are finishing actually our very first development of very first collection of 20 models.
Okay.
It is like a story that will have some beginning and some end to go on the market and to continue with developing a new story, new collection, and so on.
Okay. So yeah, I would suggest that you start building it before you actually have a product. I know you're probably more product driven, but just like how you meet someone new and you need to build the trust, or the trust needs to be earned, or the comfortability level kind of just is lower, is lowered. Um, yeah, starting to build a relationship with your customer now is will lessen the pressure of trying to sell. When you actually have a
Mhm.
product, and when you actually have a product, it's like I need to sell. I spend so much money. I spent so much money, time, and effort. This product needs to be pushed out, because that is a lot of the mind frame of a lot of designers and brands. So building a relationship as early as possible. That's why I suggested, if you put like a vector out or inspiration of something, that kind of just gives them an insight of who you are. It shows the human side of your brand, even though your brand probably doesn't have a face, a spokesman person, but just giving it some insight, something to look forward to. Like when I meet someone, I want to know about this person besides just the business. Like how me and you are building a relationship right now. I just met you, but as the time go by, it's been over 40, it's been over 45 minutes. We're starting to pick up more momentum, because now it's a back and forth. It's not just a one side, or it's not just, hey, here's my products, buy it. It was a back and forth. We gave each other some type of banter, some type of conversation, some type of, okay, we have something in common. It
Okay.
kind of, yeah.
And then I think that before maybe it will be better to start to go ahead at the market with the our virtual product,
Hmm.
because the virtual products are pretty same like the real products, and sharing the story as a virtual collection before the real collection goes to the market.
Market. Hmm.
And what do you think? Did we will gonna get the feedback on this virtual store, or maybe when the real collection will came in the market, when maybe the customers will be already satisfied with the story that we had shared as a virtual part of the collection? There is as well here a lot of questions. What is the right choice? For example, these
Hmm.
virtual collections, which are closely related to the real collection,
Hmm.
are the virtual models which we are sharing, but we are not sharing the completely story, just sharing as a model, as the information to get the very first feedback. If
Hmm.
we go to the online social media market, for example, and sharing the story about a new collection in the virtual way, is this the right choice? Or maybe the customer, I don't know, where is the border between how much we should say and how much we should share when the real production and we are selling comes on, because the customer and the end maybe will be satisfied with information that they had
Correct.
received with virtual collection, and when the real
The real
collection go
collection.
on the market, and they will gonna have feeling that this is something that's not so much new or so much interest, like because I have heard or discussed about this before 1 month or something like that. This
Well,
is as
I
well
can.
something very challenging. how much and
Right,
what to say it.
right. Well, AI, artificial intelligence is like the trendy thing right now. How is it where you are right now?
We are not working with artificial intelligence. We are working in 3D softwares. That means that the products could be seen in 3D, but it's not totally artificial intelligence like artificial intelligence
Yeah,
products
I
that
know what
are
it means.
sold.
I know what it
This
is, but
is
I'm
not
just
sold. It's images actually.
yeah, I know there's a difference, but some people who are not savvy enough will kind of think it's hand in hand. So I'm saying that to say artificial intelligence in the virtual world is a trendy thing right now. And they're also making a fashion week. That's what I was leading to. They're making an AI fashion week next month, which is May. So
Yeah.
I would test out, I would strategize to put out a little bit of your virtual world around that fashion week to see if it sticks. You want to make sure that you are aligned with whatever's trendy or use the SEO or the meta tags. Just get in the conversation of that AI Fashion Week and see what sticks. Don't put the whole thing out. You need to strategize a little bit. Just throw out a little bit to test it out to see if it works. I don't have the answers to say like, oh, this is going to work. I'm just not that girl. Um, Especially when it comes to the internet where a lot of things are regulated and the algorithms, I'm not in control of that. So I would strategize doing a little bit at a time strategically around that AI Fashion Week, which you guys can look into, and make sure your brand and that virtual collection is in line with that so that people can see it,
Yeah.
use the hashtags, and so you can be a part of that conversation, see if it sticks, if it picks up, just any type of traction. And you can kind of just go from there and pivot as you need to do.
Okay. I will take note. Okay.
Okay, and as far as your real collection, if you start seeing a traction with your virtual collection, throw like a little bit of your actual collection, like throw like one picture of your actual collection to see if it's going to pick up the same momentum as your virtual collection. That'll kind of keep the traffic going because you want to be able to measure out what is sticking and what is not sticking. That's why you have to strategize and take just throw out a little bit to see what sticks and what doesn't stick.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. We got a lot done today.
Yes. We have extra more time.
Yes. So how did you feel about this session?
I like it a lot. I like it a lot to meet the new people, and there is one special momentum when you are meet someone with whom you have the same energy, you have
Hmm.
the same understanding of the topics, and the feeling to be inspired and to inspire is as well something that is very rare in everyday life. Something is for me it's like that. So I like it
Yes.
very much.
So yes, I'm
It was
active
very
in
pleasant.
yeah. Yeah, I'm active in the fashion industry. I have another business which is image consulting and fashion styling. So I continuously am always asking questions about my clients' needs, as well as coaching business designers and apparel entrepreneurs on what to do. Well, not what to do, but just strategize a little bit better so that their business can grow, they make better business decisions, and it's all centered around your customers because your customers are the ones that's going to be bringing in the revenue and keeping your business alive and thriving.
It's like that. Yes, it's like that. You have right.
So, but yes, I thought we did a pretty good job. I want to see if I want to give you any homework. Um, but I think you have some because the creating your own focus group is like work within itself. I don't think you're really happy with what you've been getting before because 2 months with an agency, they should already have given you answers by now. Working as a qualitative research before, they should have already given you like sustainable answers already. So that is up to you. We'll talk about it afterwards. Did you have any additional questions about our session today?
No, I haven't.
All right. Well, this is another edition of Drafting a Case Study. I'm sorry, my throat is just, the pollen is terrible, terrible in New Jersey, New York area, but I got through it. This is Jasmina from Circular of Zero. Definitely go check her out whenever the line launches, and hopefully we'll see it in the works of the AI Fashion Week because that is coming out. You should do your homework
Yeah.
and do that. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys learned a lot, even though she's a little bit more advanced than a new entrepreneur, but it's okay. We got this.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for
Thank
tuning
you.
in.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.